Hey guys, welcome back to some more videos, and today I'm doing a vlog talking about the Cabin Fever remake, which I heard about on Facebook and I seen the commercial for, and I watched the trailer. Like I said, I watched the trailer, and this is a vlog on my thoughts on the trailer and my thoughts on there being a Cabin Fever remake. So this is my opinion. I know this is not everybody's opinion. All I ask is to be respectful in the comment section about it, and to not be a jerk about it, just to be respectful about it. And this is just my opinion about this remake and the trailer, and discussing a little bit about my thoughts on there actually being the remake of Cabin Fever. So I just wanted to give that quick message before I started the video. Just that this is my opinion, so just don't be a jerk about it in the comment section. Be cool about it, and yeah, that's all I ask. And discussing the Cabin Fever remake. As you guys know, or at least in my opinion, the Cabin Fever franchise, it kind of went in the crap route. Because Cabin Fever 2, in my opinion, it sucked. Cabin Fever 3, Patient Zero, I haven't even seen it yet. I seen the commercials for it. I watched like 5 minutes of it, and I was like, okay, I'm not interested in this movie. I was bored by it already, and the commercials looked boring. Everybody said how it sucked, and it gets lower on IMDb. So I'm not really interested in the movie. I'll see it one day, but I don't know. I just wasn't interested by the trailers and stuff like that. But one day I will see it. Cabin Fever Patient Zero. But I knew there was gonna be like a number 4. I think it got canceled though. Like, I swear I thought I got on IMDb one day, and I swear there was like another movie that was gonna be made, like a 4th movie, I think, but ended up not happening, so I think it got canceled. But the first Cabin Fever is actually a decent movie. Actually, I like the first Cabin Fever. I think it's a decent movie, and I liked it. I thought it was well shot, well directed, and Eli Roth did a good job making the movie, and it was a good movie. I would say that Cabin Fever 1 was a good movie. Cabin Fever 2 was just too over the top, to the point where I was watching it, and it would get to the point where it was too much humor, and it started going the cheesy route, and it was a very gross movie, which I do get it. It's supposed to gross you out, but that took the gore route and just freaking went over the top way too much, to the point where it was like, it didn't, like, the original one was gory, but it had more to it than the gore. And that's another problem I have with the trailer of this movie, the remake Cabin Fever. But Cabin Fever 2, yes, it had a lot of gore to it. It was practical. It was well done effects. It was definitely shocking gore. But they went too far with it. There's a certain limit you can go with gore, and I'm a gore hound. I like gore in movies. But when you take the Cabin Fever movies and you take 2 and you push that gore that far, and the humor is just unfunny to me, it was corny humor, and lots of freaking like over the top gore, and just it began to become too much, and the humor was too much, the gore was just, there was so much of it, just didn't feel like it should have been that much gore. Like, I mean, I get it, lots of gore is good, but it just felt like it was going overboard with it. Which I get, there's no overboard to gore, but it just felt like it was kind of, I don't know, going overboard with the gore. And I love gore in horror movies, practical effects, but it just kind of went too far. But I'll give it that. It does have some practical effects to it, but I didn't really care for the humor. I didn't really care for the acting. The characters suck. Nothing to the camera work, nothing to the way it was shot, nothing to the direction. It was just altogether an over-the-top sequel that was just crappy. Cabin Fever Patient Zero, like I said, I haven't even seen it yet. It looked boring by the trailers. I watched like 5 minutes of it. I was bored, and I didn't want to watch it anymore. So one day I'll watch Cabin Fever Patient Zero, but I wasn't really interested in it. It gets a 4.5 on IMDb, which is higher than 2. And also I know it has, who else does it have? Patient Zero, I believe, was played by Sean Austin, who's from Lord of the Rings, The Goonies, Rudy. He's been in a lot of movies, and that was the one actor I recognized was Sean Austin from Rudy and Lord of the Rings trilogy. Besides that, the rest of the acting sucked. The idea of this Patient Zero, I didn't really care for. It was just I was getting really bored with the movie. But this remake, discussing the remake, it's kind of a stupid idea to do a remake right now of Cabin Fever 1. Because Cabin Fever came out in 2002. That was not that long ago. I don't know why they're doing a remake. Actually, I do have a good idea why they're doing the remake. But I don't know. It seems way too soon to be making a remake. I mean, this movie didn't come out that long ago. 2002 wasn't that long ago. And they're already making a remake. And what made Cabin Fever a good, decent movie, was the fact that it had this craziness to it. And it was a good craziness. It was for the good. It was for the good. And it just had this craziness to it. The gore was, the makeup effects were done well. And it just had this energy to it and it had this humor that was actually funny. And it had this energy to it that was really good. And from this trailer, it looks like it's going to be like a doll, shot for shot, remake of the original. Only these characters don't look half as interesting as the other ones. Like, they don't even look like they're even trying to act good. They're just, same characters, only worse acting, worse performances, and just a dull atmosphere. It doesn't look like it's going to be that crazy. With humor and stuff like that. And I will say this though, the trailer looked like it was going to be really gory. Like, it's got lots of gore to it. But, I mean, the original movie, yeah, the gore was a big part of it, but it also had characters and acting and the craziness and the crazy ideas they would do. Like, with the character, get the name, character, Ryder Strong, when he's driving the car, a freaking deer comes through the freaking windshield, and that's a crazy idea. Or them drinking the water, nobody knows who's sick and who's not sick. It was bringing these crazy ideas, and yeah, some of them were a little over the top, like the whole pancakes. They kept the freaking wig on and pancakes and doing flips and karate moves and stuff like that was kind of cheesy, and I didn't really understand that was in the movie. Also, the whole scene where Ryder Strong's in the hospital, and you see this dude in a bunny outfit, and I'm like, what the freak was that all about? Which, I guess, looking back on it now, it is to the sequel, part 2, because the mascot for the school was a bunny, but I didn't get it watching the first movie, so some of the ideas were a little bit over the top, but overall, the humor was actually done well. And it had the essence of a classic horror movie. And it was a really well done, really well directed, really well acted horror movie. That's why I can say I like the original Cabin Fever. I think it's a great movie. And this new one looks like it's going to have a dull atmosphere, not good acting, basically everything bad except for the gore. And I'm like, there was more to the original than just gore. It was acting. It was craziness. It was these, ideas that were just freaking out there, man. These crazy ideas that made the movie separate from other horror movies in a good way. It was a crazy movie. And this new one looks like it's going to be just gore, dull acting, characters that don't even act as good as the original characters. So crappy acting, crappy direction. Actually, I don't know if... Here, let me check. Because I think Eli Roth is going to come back. No, he's not going to come back to direct it. I know that Eli Roth is going to be involved in the movie. But the director is Travis Zirwe, who has directed... he's directed Scavengers, Intruder... Is that the remake? Sorry about that, by the way. I wonder if that's a remake. of the original movie. But I know this dude was involved with Behind the Mask, Rise of Leslie Vernon. He was involved with Digging Up the Marrow. But he hasn't directed much. He's only directed like one movie. That's Scavengers. He's in post-production for Intruder, which I believe is the remake of the original, and Cabin Fever, which is completed. But I don't know, the trailers look dull, but there's no energy to the movie at all, and the acting pretty much sucked from the trailers. It's shot for shot like the original, you know, copying the same exact themes. I'm like, if you're gonna do that, what's the point of a remake? You know, at least Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake from 2003, did some different themes, and Dawn of the Dead, the remake, did some different themes, and you know, it was just, there are remakes out there that do different themes in the original movies. Some for the bad, some for the good, but you know, it's just this remake that's going to be the same theme, only less crazy, dull acting, unlikable characters, nothing to the direction, nothing to the atmosphere, and just looks like a doll, shot for shot. It's just, this remake is way too early. I don't get why they're remaking the original Cabin Fever. It's not even that old. So, but I do have an idea of why they're making this remake. Because the sequels really weren't going that well. I mean, you gotta think, Cabin Fever 2 gets like a 4.3. Yeah, and, you know, in my opinion, it sucked. And then Cabin Fever Patient Zero gets a 4.5. So, I mean, the series really isn't going in a good direction. The original series wasn't. I mean, it was just these sequels were getting low ratings. And, yeah, I mean, I get this whole remake is going to restart the franchise, redo the franchise, but I don't know. The original one, just, there wasn't really that much wrong with it. I don't know why they're making this remake. I mean, like I said, I got an idea, but for sure, I don't know, man. It's way too early to be making a remake to Cabin Fever. It looks like it's going to be worse than the original Cabin Fever. I mean, it looks like it's going to be dull and boring and uninteresting, and it just doesn't look that good in my opinion. But this is just a little vlog talking about the Cabin Fever remake. Like I said, the original Cabin Fever was done well. Cabin Fever 2 was crap. Cabin Fever Patient Zero I haven't seen yet because it was freaking already, from what I seen, like 5 minutes, it was boring. So I don't want to watch it because it was really boring, but one day I will watch it. But this is just a short little vlog talking about the Cabin Fever remake. It's way too early. Do not be making this remake. It's just, I don't really see the point of it. It's just a pointless remake. It just, I don't know. It seemed like a crappy, dull, boring, shot for shot, nothing new, more actually worse, remake. And I don't know. I mean, besides the gore looks good in the movie, but there's nothing else to it. It's just the gore looked good, nothing else did. Even the new cabin in the movie doesn't look that interesting. The whole freaking huge cabin, and I don't really care for that idea. The whole brand new cabin, didn't care for that. And yeah, so Cabin Fever the remake, in my opinion, just doesn't look that good from the trailers. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Cabin Fever remake. And the people are like, oh, you can't judge a book by its cover. You can't just hate this movie because you've seen the trailer. I get that. I'm just judging the trailer. I'm just saying, from what I've seen in the trailer, my thoughts on. Like, this is just the trailer. So, you know, I don't know. It may be good. It may surprise me and be good. But it doesn't really look that interesting. Not as boring as Patient Zero, because Patient Zero seemed pretty boring, but still looks boring, still looks dull, still just, you know, rehashing the first movie, redoing the first movie shot for shot, and just nothing else to it. So guys, it's just my thought. It's just a short little vlog talking about Cabin Fever the remake. They don't need to be making. I don't know why they're making a Cabin Fever remake. It's way too early. They shouldn't have been making a remake. And yeah, I mean, it might surprise me when it comes out, but from the trailers, I'm not impressed. So that's just my thoughts on the Cabin Fever remake in 2016. It'll be coming out, I guess, later on in the year. And yeah. So thanks for watching the vlog. My vlog talking about Cabin Fever the remake, and I will see you guys in the next review. Bye, guys.